Today we are going to make the easiest egg-filled peppers. These are perfect for breakfast, lunch, or even breakfast for dinner. You're going to love how simple they are and how tasty they really are. So we're going to start with just cutting the tops off of the peppers so we can get everything together. The first thing that you want to do is take your pepper and we're going to cut the top off. So you want to take it wherever the green top is and we're just going to cut straight down. You'll go through the seeds in the center and that's totally fine. So now you've got an opening where we can now trace around to get those middle seeds out, okay? So you'll just take your knife and carefully just go around so that we can get into the center of the pepper. So now we've got all of that removed, and just use your fingers and take the seeds straight out, and then you can just use your fingers to clear out any of the extra pits or anything like that. And I always like to just 1, 2, 3 bang it on so that you can see we now have a clean pepper to work with. So one of the things you may notice is that when you take the top off, you still have the green part, or the green part just comes right out, the stem comes right out. You want to save the tops, and if you end up having a stem, you can either just pull it out like that, or if you want to cut around it, you can. But we're going to use the tops in the filling, and then we have these all nice and cleaned out so that we can stuff our eggs in them. The next step is going to be to go ahead and get the filling ready. So we're going to stuff the peppers with vegetables and eggs. Now you can use any combination of vegetables that you like. Personally, I love the rest of the peppers, tomatoes, and kale or spinach or anything like that. I want this to be a hearty meal. So we're just going to go through and cut up the peppers first and get those sauteing. So just easily cut them up. You want to think bite-sized pieces, nothing big here. Take your time if you need to. So what we want to do is saute off the peppers, and then we're going to add kale and the rest of the ingredients. You could also add red onion or garlic or anything you love. So peppers are going in, they're going to start softening, and from here we're going to cut up a tomato and get some kale going. I'm taking some help from the store and just using some already cut up chopped kale. Just going to add about 2 or 3 handfuls of this. You need about 2 or 3 cups of kale total. Remember, it will cook down a lot. And then we're also going to add in our chopped tomatoes. And we're just going to let this cook for about 4 or 5 minutes until everything, the kale's wilted down and the peppers are softened just a little bit. While the vegetables are sauteing, we're going to make the egg mixture. So you need 3 large eggs. I like to use the organic, at least cage-free eggs, 3 of those. And then here is a money-saving tip. When I'm not using the yolks, I use, I don't always have to go for the cage-free or organic. I just use regular, cheapest ones I can find for just the egg whites. So you need 6 large egg whites. So to crack an egg, to make sure you get just the yolk, I just want to break it in half. And then you can use the shell to grab the yolk and just pass it back and forth once or twice, and the yolk will stay in the shell and the egg white will drop. To the egg mixture, we're going to add a half a teaspoon of salt, a full teaspoon of thyme. So I'm going to use some dried thyme. We're going to need a teaspoon of that and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Make sure you don't use garlic salt because you already added some salt. And then all we need to do is make sure we break up the egg yolks and whisk this up. And that's done. And while you're at it, just add a little pinch of salt to your veggies, which after about 4 to 5 minutes should be done. So we're going to turn those off and we're going to start filling our egg cups. Before you fill your egg cups, you need to make sure you have somewhere to put them because these are going to go in the oven and they're going to be filled with eggs. So they kind of need to be secure. So I have an extra large muffin tin. So the it's made from extra large muffins, but the eggs can actually fit in there. They're not going to topple over, so they fit in very easily. If you don't have one of these extra large muffin tins, what you can also use is just a regular old bread tin. So you'll be able to put your egg or your peppers in here, and they'll still be able to stand up straight. But where you'll run into problems here is that as you're filling these, one at a time, one may fall over or not. So just be a little bit cautious and careful, but I'm going to use this today, just so you know. So we're going to fill these up first with some of the vegetable mixture. You just want to divide it into 3. If the kale is not completely wilted, that's fine. It'll continue to wilt in the oven. So divide your vegetable mixture up by 3 and just stuff your peppers. May end up having a little bit of extra mixture left over. That's totally fine. What you don't want to do is overstuff your peppers, because if you overstuff them, then the eggs don't have anywhere to go. So these guys are full, but they're not packed full, and we're just going to divide the egg mixture. So remember, there is 3 whole eggs and 6 egg whites right into each of these peppers. So take your time, let a little bit go in at a time. You can always come back. Some of it may go overboard, and that's okay. Once your peppers are completely full, you may find you have a little bit left over, totally fine. Remember, every pepper is a different size, so every time you make this, you might end up with more or less, but it's always better to be on the full side, right? Make sure that you don't overfill these, because it will spill over, and eggs are so hard to clean out of these. So spill a little bit, that's fine, but don't go crazy. So these are going to go into the oven, a 400-degree preheated oven, for about 30 minutes or so. Okay, so these have been cooking for 30 minutes. I've cooled them down slightly. You might find that they overflow a little bit here and there, but overall you have one perfectly portioned egg cup that is easy to take for meal prep, for breakfast on the go, anything that you love, or perfect for those weeknight dinners where you want a little breakfast for dinner. So make sure you check out bitesofwellness.com for more easy, simple recipes.